In Peru, authorities warn that El Niño weather phenomenon will increase dengue cases across the country. In Brazil, President Lula da Silva called for a mobilization to protest against Julian Assange's possible extradition to the United States. And in Tunisia, authorities negotiated with European Commission representatives a financial aid package conditional on the acceptance of the International Monetary Fund loan. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. In Peru, Social Security President Aurelio Orellana said that dengue cases across the country will increase due to the influence of the El Niño weather phenomenon. In statements to the press, the official estimated that the increase in cases of the disease could vary between 10 and 15% in addition to those already occurring daily. Orellana also stated that the authorities are preparing to face this eventual health situation. Peru is currently facing the largest outbreak of the disease in the present century. According to the Health Ministry, 113,826 cases have been confirmed so far this year, and at least 201 dengue-related deaths have been recorded. In Argentina, citizens voted for the governor and other local authorities in several provinces this Sunday. In Tucumán, over 1 million are called to vote to elect the governor, vice governor, 49 provincial lawmakers, 19 mayors, councilmen of each city, and 93 rural commissioners. In the province of San Luis, 418,689 citizens vote to elect the governor, vice governor, 17 mayors, 21 seats for the Chamber of Deputies, and 5 seats for the provincial Senate. The province of Mendoza holds the primaries open, simultaneous, and mandatory to elect the candidates for governor and vice governor, 19 senators, and 24 provincial deputies, mayors, and city councilors of 11 cities. While the province of Corrientes is holding midterm elections to define 5 seats in the provincial Senate, 15 seats in the Chamber of Deputies, and the seats in the councils of 64 municipalities. The electoral race moves on in Ecuador, with the political parties and coalitions defining their presidential tickets for the August 20th elections. The Citizen Revolution Movement announced on Saturday Luisa González as its candidate for the presidency, together with Andrés Araúz as vice president. The announcement, made at the La Esperanza Event Center in the province of Manabí, comes after Glass declined his presidential candidacy in favor of González and proposed Araúz as her running mate as vice president. Glass announced, though, he will be in charge of his party's electoral campaign. The parties have until June 13th to register the candidates in the National Electoral Council's computer system.
I humbly propose Luisa González for President of the Republic. And I want a person there to accompany her. I want her to be accompanied by a person you well know, someone who has worked intensively during the past 2 years as a militant, and at the same time he has been preparing himself for more work. Now he has just received his doctorate. Comrades, that is Andrés Araúz for the vice presidency.
Former President of Ecuador, Rafael Correa, congratulated the presidential candidacy through a remote connection.
We have a female general who was Secretary of Administration, that is to say, Chief of Staff, Comrade Luisa González. A warm hug, Luisa. Congratulations and our gratitude for having accepted this challenge. A warm hug also to Andrés, who with great militant spirit has accepted to be where he is most needed. We are going to have a brilliant guy in economics and international relations in the vice presidency of the Republic.
So far, 3 alliances between political parties and movements have been registered at the National Electoral Council for the early elections to be held next August 20th. The Duterte, Bolívar, Mijos, and Linda Romero, sponsored by Friendly Movement, confirmed their candidacies to lead the executive. It was previously done by Daniel Noboa and Veronica Abad, whose alliance is made up of People, Equality, Democracy, and Mover movements, formerly known as Country Alliance. Meanwhile, this Friday night, the parties United Society, More Action, and Advance made real the acting alliance, which will support the candidacy of the former Vice President Otto Sonnenholzner. The 4 indigenous children rescued after 40 days missing in the Guaviare jungle are stable and recovering. After an initial multidisciplinary medical evaluation of the children, the Ministry of Defense reported they are in acceptable clinical conditions and ruled out any life-threatening situation. The report specifies that, in spite of this, the 4 children will continue to undergo clinical diagnostics tests, imaging, nutritional and psychological recovery treatment. The children will be hospitalized for approximately 2 to 3 weeks and will continue to be attended by a multidisciplinary team.
In any case, they are in the process of recovery first. According to medical prescriptions, they are hydrating because obviously they were in a complicated situation. They cannot eat food yet, but in general, the condition of the kids, the boy and the girls, is acceptable. According to medical reports, they are out of danger, but they need to be stabilized.
Let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at TeleSUR English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. Other stories coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back from the South. In Brazil, President Luis Inácio da Silva has called for a mobilization in the face of the risk of extradition to the United States faced by activist Julian Assange. The head of state expressed his concern after the London High Court rejected Assange's extradition appeal. Lula reiterated that the arrest of the WikiLeaks founder was contrary to the defense of democracy and freedom of the press. In the face of the activist extradition, the Brazilian president called on the international community to demonstrate in support of Assange. Journalist's defense has until June 13th to file a new appeal. If this new appeal is rejected, Assange will face 18 charges and will have to answer to espionage charges in the United States, for which he could be sentenced to 175 years in prison. In Chile, health authorities registered over 1,200 children hospitalized following a respiratory syncytial virus outbreak. The South American nation has been hit by its most severe RSV outbreak in years, killing 4 infants and putting strain on pediatric intensive care unit capacity. According to Chilean Health Minister Ximena Aguilera, the 4 minors died while waiting for a bed because 11 of the country's 29 health centers are at full capacity. Health authorities of Gabriel Boric government have been strongly criticized by Chilean society, given the situation that is worsening due to the enormous economic and demographic access gaps.
Each infant that dies is a blow for us, and we regret each one of these situations. There are different circumstances, as it has been explained, that of the children that have died. However, for us, it is very regrettable each one of these situations, and we call for not using these cases from a political point of view. It is a regrettable situation for all of us. I believe that it impacts everyone, not only the health authorities, but also the professional teams that treated them, and we sympathize with the grief of the families.
The head of the Healthcare Network Management Division, Dr. Fabiola Jaramillo, reported that there are currently over 1,200 children requiring hospitalization.
We have approximately 1,200 children requiring hospitalization, and out of these, approximately 120 to 200 children move daily in different emergencies and different levels of complexity. Therefore, while the bed is provided and the adjustments are made, a number of hours usually pass. We are working to avoid the waiting time to exceed 6 hours, but there are indeed some specific cases in which they have exceeded 6 hours.
On Saturday, thousands of Romanian teachers and educators on Friday protested in Bucharest against low pay after 3 weeks of a general strike. Thousands of healthcare workers protested in Bucharest a day earlier, demanding higher wages, more staff, and better working conditions amid what they say are shortfalls that will lead to declining medical service standards. Trade unions are demanding a 25% salary increase for teachers, and the average pay for a junior teacher is approximately $522 per month, under half the national average net pay in the country.
The reason for today's protest is that we are unhappy with our wages. I have my paycheck here, and as you see, 2,724 lei. That is 550 euros. You cannot live with 550 euros. 350 euros only cover the rent. If we add in the other monthly expenses and food, we have to borrow more money or go to our parents in the countryside. There is no other way. We want to be respected because we work very hard.
The reason for today's protest is since we are unhappy with our wages. I have my paycheck here and as you can see, 2,725 and 24 lei, that is 550 euros. You can now live on 550 euros. 350 euros only cover the rent. If we add in the other monthly expenses and food, we have to borrow more money or go to our parents in the countryside. There is no other way. We want to be respected because we work very hard.
TeleSUR English continues to grow. You can now tune in from 33 different African countries through StarSat, dial 461 and enjoy our Latin American alternative broadcasts. One final short break, we'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back from the South. On Sunday, representatives of the European Commission arrived in Tunisia to negotiate a financial aid package conditional on the acceptance of the International Monetary Fund loan. The President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, arrived in Tunis, accompanied by the Prime Ministers of the Netherlands and Italy, Mark Rutte and Giorgia Meloni, respectively, who were received by Tunisian President Kais. The European representatives proposed an increase in EU funding of 900 million euros, plus 150 million euros in budget support in exchange for Tunisia's acceptance of a loan from the IMF, which has not yet been ratified. Tunisia is indebted to the tune of 80% of its gross domestic product and reached an agreement in principle with the IMF in mid-October 2022, but the fund has asked the country to carry out economic reforms, including the abolition of state subsidies to the detriment of the poorest. In India, Isna Hashari Youth Foundation, Shia Itna Asheri Jahmat, Masjid an Iranian and several other organizations jointly organized a memorial ceremony in memory of the great Iranian leader Imam Khomeini at Kesar Bagh Dongri in Mumbai. The event was attended by scholars including Maulana Hasnain Kararpi, Maulana Hussain Mehdi Hussaini, and Maulana Saiham ur Rizvi. The scholars shared their thoughts and reflections on the life and legacy of Imam Khomeini and his contributions to the world. The commemoration ceremony was a reminder of the importance of remembering and honoring those who have made significant contributions to humanity's shared future. It was a testament to the lasting impact Imam Khomeini had on people's lives and his legacy of inspiring others to work for a better world, expressed some of the participants. In Canada, the wave of wildfires in recent days has consumed more than 4 million hectares of forest. Canadian authorities have evacuated some 2,400 people from the town of Tumbler Ridge in British Columbia as a precautionary measure as the flames spread. The workers of the different security and rescue forces are concentrating on patrolling the populated areas close to the fire to avoid loss of life. Despite the fact that an evacuation order has been enforced since the 8th of June, the nation has recorded a total of 2,392 bushfires so far this year, 73 of which are in British Columbia and are still active. In Kyrgyzstan, residents in several areas of Bishkek have been affected by difficulties in accessing regular water supplies after a dry start to the summer led to water restrictions. The authorities in Bishkek have introduced water supply restrictions, including nighttime cutoffs, after the capital's groundwater level dropped by 15 to 20 meters since 2022. In response, the city authorities have pledged to deliver water to households on a regular basis, but Bishkek residents claim that the water they receive is unfit for drinking and cooking because the tankers sent to them are full of dirty water. They also complain that the water resource often runs out before everyone can get their share. We have come to the end of this news briefing. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For Telesur English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.